What if I told you that Rumi's story doesn't start in high school or even the first time she summoned the moon June, but 400 years ago when Gima began weaving such a meticulous plan that it turned hair color into a surname and blood into a map? Stay tuned, because we're going to uncover 7 secrets of Rumi's family that could rewrite everything you thought you knew about demon hunters. And the best part comes now, because there are clues that have always been in front of us, only no one dared to connect them. We have all looked at Rumi's purple hair as if it were just aesthetics, style, attitude. Wrong. In the demon realm, color is not fashion. Color is lineage. Purple, neon red, green, cobalt. Each shade signifies a house, a heritage, a vow. Gima, the spirit without a stable human form which needs to devour souls to cross into our world, shares the same chromatic signature. Coincidence? Unlikely. Imagine a demon queen leaving an heir halfway, right on the threshold between worlds, marking them with a pigment that doesn't fade even with the light of the June moon. We are not saying that Gima is the father. His nature doesn't fit conventional parenthood, but Rumi's lineage has been tied to that shade since before she was born. The color purple, in this saga, not only shines, it reveals. If purple functions as a surname, Rumi's family tree is planted at the edge of the underworld, with roots that pierce through stone, seals, and ancient songs. And if the surname is the color, the legend is the shadow. The most discussed theory among fans is the one about the twin. Rumi, leader of the hunters, was born with a human demonic balance. Her twin sister, according to the hypothesis, inherited a darker, sharper portion, an almost perfect demonic tuning. The result, the father disappeared with her, leaving Rumi behind. Picture the scene as if you were watching it. On the big screen, 2 identical figures reflecting in a narrow hallway, with old lamps beating like hearts. One of them with an aura tempered by the June moon. The other with the deep echo of Gima vibrating behind the eyes. Sister against my sister, not out of hatred, but by blood mandate. The ideal antagonist is not the one you don't know, but the one who knows your doubts, your breathing, your blind spots, because they lived with your same face in a parallel world. And yes, it's a family drama with the impact of a superhero movie, but also with an uncomfortable question. If blood unites, who decides destiny? Now take a deep breath, because the next key opens a door that many prefer to keep closed. Selene. Officially a mentor and adoptive figure. Unofficially, the theory suggests she is her biological mother. Proof? Selene does not believe that the invocation of the Luna June can erase demonic marks. She states it with a certainty that sounds like a memory. No one speaks like that unless they have lived it. If Selene was also half demon and managed to free herself from her marks, her severity would have another interpretation. It's not coldness, it's fear. Fear of repeating mistakes. Fear that her daughter, yes, her daughter, might not be able to hold the edge between worlds without getting cut. Hiding it would be petty, or perhaps the only way to protect her while training her. The most painful betrayal is not from the enemy who hates you, but from the ally who loves you and yet lies to you. Not all demons are monsters that can't fit through a door. Jinu reminds us with his presence. Almost impeccable human form, skin with purplish tones, sober elegance, the saga that travels between worlds with backpacks, as if crossing planes were an excursion. That aesthetic says something. There are demons that inhabit the border. Under that logic, Rumi's father could have been a half-demon with clear human traits. But to come and go from the human world, desire is not enough. Permission from the demon king is needed. That implies status, hierarchy, a place at the table where crossings are decided. If we connect this with the 400 years of Kima's conspiracy to destroy the moon June, an older pattern than the hunters emerges. Seductions, alliances, blood mixes to open legal fissures in the fabric between worlds. If Rumi's father obtained that privilege and still chose love, Rumi is not an accident of fate. She is a play. A piece placed with patience to test if the border can bear the weight of a heart. Here comes an image that will haunt you. Rumi's father in front of a living seal. breathing as if it were a creature. The guardians sing, the air vibrates, the seal resists, and he makes a decision that no one dares to make. He absorbs part of the essence he tries to seal. Ooh, he does not die, but is torn into two natures, human and demon, simultaneously a time bomb. That is the fallen guardian, not for being a traitor, but for being sacrificial. What does someone do afterward who fears passing that curse to his daughter? He disappears. Not because he is a coward, but because he knows that monstrosity does not always arrive screaming. Sometimes it arrives with a familiar voice asking for help. This theory repositions Rumi on the board. She is not only the leader of the hunters, but also the third generation of a family bound by oath and guilt to the containment of Gima, and that changes the reading of the climax. If the father returns, is he an enemy, a weapon, or both at the same time? Before continuing, let me make you a proposal that will help us decide which door to open first. Give it a like before Selene archives this classified file and leave me a clue in the comments. If you had to choose a single truth to investigate thoroughly in the next video, what would you prefer, the villainous twin or the undercover mother? Your choice could define the next twist. We return to the emotional root because without it, no saga can endure. Ay lo seno sa iyo, Rumi's mother didn't start as a hunter. She was a young woman with a rare gift for music. One of those people who play a note and seem to open a window. She met a kind and mysterious man who seemed accustomed to carrying secrets like one wears a coat. Love grew silently, like things that don't ask for permission. When the truth came out, it was already too late. There was affection, there were plans, there was a life that didn't want to know about wars or scars. Rumi's mother learned to see the world with two eyes, one for beauty and one for danger. And from that fracture, Rumi's strength was born. The purity and sensitivity of the mother, the demonic intensity of the father. That's why she doesn't break. She is tempered. That's why she doesn't flee. She stands firm. That's why calling her a leader falls short. She is a hinge. Connects to doors that no one else can open without breaking. Let's talk about color again, but not as decoration, rather as audible heritage. In ancient tradition, music tuned seals and remembered erased names. And if Rumi's mother, with her gift, not only loved music, but unknowingly maintained with each note a balance that others tried to destroy, imagine her singing an ancient tune in a small room, while in the background, in another room, the moon reflects on the glass and tints the air purple. It is no coincidence that music appears near great decisions. In this world, the auditory and the chromatic converse like old friends. Let's return to Selene, because her figure divides the spectators. Some see her as an unyielding general, others as a mother who chose the toughest disguise to protect. If she was half demon and managed to cleanse her marks with the invocation of the Luna June, then her face in that ritual, Asayos. It's not theory, it's muscle memory. That's why the discipline, that's why the rigor, that's why the silence in parts of the story where anyone would scream. It's not coldness, it's economy of pain. He taught Rumi to bear the weight without promising it would hurt less. And if the truth is revealed, there will be a moment we are all waiting for. The hug that arrives late, but arrives. We haven't talked about the grandparents, and it's no coincidence. The film doesn't mention them, and what is absent is often more eloquent than what is present. The theory proposes a hidden village, a place dedicated to training guardians, where names were learned by reciting colors instead of surnames. Guima, like a long shadow, tested the edges of that refuge until finding a crack. Rumi's grandparents were taken away when their daughter was young. She survived at the cost of an unanswered question. Who was she before she learned to fight? The emptiness of that question, passed down, is what drives Rumi to search. Sagas are not upheld by grand answers, but by the courage to hold painful questions. Now piece them together as if assembling a clock. Color, purple as a signature of lineage. Twin Shadow as a custom-made antagonist. Celine as a covert mother, correcting her mistakes in silence. Half-demon father with royal permission to cross and a love that chose a border. Fallen guardian who turned a curse into a dangerous tool. Mother music as the root of humanity that translates war into a language that does not break the soul. Grandparents as guardians, an erased legacy that still sings beneath the earth. Everything leads to an inevitable scene. The June moon rises, splitting the clouds. The air vibrates like a drum. Celine arrives late to the truth. Guima watches with the patience of 4 centuries, and then, if the theory is correct, the twin crosses the threshold with a smile that is not pure evil, but rather a poorly tuned destiny. Imagine that encounter. Rumi stops, feels the weight on his shoulders, and accepts it, not because he likes it, but because someone has to do it. The twin, on the other side, doesn't shout, she whispers. He speaks to her of moonless nights, of hallways where purple was the only beacon, of a father who taught how to walk among shadows without stepping on the stones that awaken the seals. In the middle, Celine observes something she cannot control and is unsure if she should interrupt. Jinu nearby senses the vibration of a perfect crossing. 2 natures that could cancel each other out or balance. Everything depends on a question as old as the saga. Do you choose who you are or accept what you were told you should be? The fallen guardian returns to the equation. If he reappears, it won't be with fanfare. It will arrive like shame does, silently with head bowed, asking for forgiveness without knowing if it deserves to be heard. And there is the true emotional climax. Rumi facing his father, the man who is both a threat and a tool. Does he eliminate him to close a door or accept him to carefully open another? The decision is not moralistic, it is strategic and human. If he's the key that can definitively defeat Gima, rejecting him out of fear would condemn everyone to an eternal war. Accepting them unconditionally would be irresponsible. The middle ground is the difficult path, overseeing the edge, training the temptation, tying the curse to a purpose. Not everyone can do it. Rumi, yes. Every time the June moon appears, the rules change. Celine knows it in her bones. Jinu perceives it as a vibration. Guima planned it like an infinite chess move. The June moon not only illuminates, recalibrates. That's why, when Rumi invokes it, it's not a spectacle, it's a test. The power is either corrupted or ordered. If the lineage is confirmed, Rumi can channel her gifts without falling. If the twin exists and arrives, the fight will not only be to destroy her, but to claim the surname, the color, the destiny. True victory is not sealing Guima at any cost. It is choosing who you are when everyone around has already chosen for you. There is a scene I would like to see open the sequel. Dawn in the Hidden Village. A mural with purple hair and names that time erased. Celine, alone. Touching the wall like someone touching a memory that hurts and heals at the same time. Jinu crossing between worlds with a light backpack, as if nothing weighs because he carries exactly what is needed. Rumi at the edge of the sanctuary, wondering if what she feels in her chest is fear or the prelude to the truth. Suddenly, a familiar shadow appears, not to break the moment, but to complete it. The different father, divided, determined. The twin behind, with a look that neither asks for forgiveness nor demands revenge. And above all, the Moon June preparing a test that no one can copy. If all this made you look at Rumi differently, activate the bell if you want more hidden secrets of the group and tell me in the comments which theory you want us to investigate closely. The Shadow Twin, who knows all her steps. Celine as a mother who hid her past to protect her. Or the fallen guardian who might be the only key to close Gima forever, your clue could be the spark for the next big twist. See you in the next episode. Bring your best theory. And before you go, look at the hair color twice, just in case it carries a surname we haven't deciphered yet.